Hey everybody, welcome back. Thank you for joining us right here at The Right View. I'm Laura Trump, Senior Advisor to the Trump 2020 campaign, and I'm so excited tonight to be joined by a group of people who need no introduction, but let's do it anyway. Kimberly Guilfoyle, Senior Advisor and Trump Victory Finance Director, Dr. Gina Loudon, who is a Senior Anchor and the President of Programming at Real America's Voice News, as well as someone who really we have never seen on The Right View, has never been part of Team Trump Online, but you all know him, you all love him, my husband, Eric Trump. Eric, thanks for joining us, and thank you, ladies.
You picked a good time to join us.
I did. She was going to divorce me if I didn't come on.
So here we are. I want to jump in and start today, guys, by talking about the COVID or coronavirus, I guess, stimulus bill. Now, it's supposed to be a COVID relief bill. But let's discuss it for a moment, because Americans get, according to the first round of this bill, $600 for Americans out there in need. Yet, Eric, there is a litany of other mess, I guess you could call it, garbage, some would call it, that is in this bill, not the least of which $10 million for gender studies in Pakistan. Yep. The Kennedy Center is really cleaning up on these COVID relief bills, another $40 million packed in there for that. Take us through some of the things, and what are your thoughts on that, Eric? Is it a great bill? What do you think?
So while you were sleeping this morning, I was tweeting.
What a Trump! We're going to learn a lot today.
It was 4:45 in the morning, and I had to put out this tweet. So the bill was over 5,000 pages long. They gave our congressional leaders, they gave them 2 hours to read the thing. It included $85.5 million for Cambodia, $134 million for Burma. Burma has a lot to do with COVID, I'm sure. $1.3 billion to Egypt to buy Russian military equipment.
That's the most outrageous thing I've ever heard, but okay.
$25 million to Pakistan to have democracy and gender programs. $505 million for Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Panama. Again, I'm not really sure what it has to do with U.S. COVID relief.
Right, exactly. Right.
You had $1 billion for the Smithsonian, which right now is not open to the public. You had $154 million for the National Gallery of Art, which is also not open to the public. Guys, I could go on and on. I mean, $7 million for reef fish management. $25 million. This was actually my favorite. This is what got me going this morning. $25 million to combat Asian carp. I can't make this up. You know,
why are we combating the Asian carp? What did they ever do to us?
If you've ever been hit by one,
that's true.
I have been hit and cruised by them.
$2.5 million. Think about this one. $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack in the Gulf of Mexico. Now I'm a fisherman, right? We're outdoorsmen, our family, Don,
Eric's going to catch every one of them once they count them up.
I love fishing for jack. I've caught plenty of them, right? But $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack in the Gulf of Mexico. This is going in a COVID-19 bill.
Makes no sense.
And then last but not least, $1,800 for illegal immigrants, all while U.S. citizens in this country are getting $600. This is nonsense.
Terrible.
It's crap. Thank God, my father called him out for this and said that he was going to veto this bill. This thing should have been 2 pages long. It should have said that every American was going to get $2,000 or every couple was going to get $4,000.
Which is what the president said should happen.
And that's all that needs to be said.
And that's more money than was in there,
right?
For the American people. They're called Christmas tree bills for a reason, because they come right before Christmas, but because they offer gifts for each of the legislators that are involved in it that are powerful, and that's how they pull them all in.
All of those are the gifts.
So those are little gifts, and if you look at the strings, the purse strings, always follow the money, just like the president says. If you follow the money, you'll find a little gift for each and every one of the important players in this underneath that Christmas tree. It's sickening, because the American people deserve better, and the president's the one on their side.
Well, it's really true. And from the beginning, the president has really been the only one looking out for the American people, for our interests. Everybody else has been apologists to other countries. And this type of waste, it's very frustrating. I really echo the president's sentiments in saying that enough is enough. Why can't we take care, actually, of the American taxpayer, the people here that are suffering, that actually could do something with that stimulus? This is everything that people despise about big government, about the swamp, which is taking care of everyone else, apologizing for actually looking out for the hardworking men and women. They could use that to help their families, to rebuild their businesses. It would be money well directed and well spent. And instead, we're actually shipping money out to other countries and for bizarre purposes. I mean, God bless the Asian carp, but we don't need this type of thing. Like, we're
combating
This
nation
is
card?
such a distracted, fragmented approach.
Yep.
It's counterintuitive, and guess what? The American people are smarter than this.
And the heartbreaking thing is, honestly, there's only 59 legislators that actually objected to this nonsense. Rand Paul was one of them.
Yeah,
recently,
where's the
he made some great
leadership?
But everybody
God bless
else-
Rand Paul.
Where are the people in Washington who actually say enough is enough? Why did this have to be done in 5,000 pages?
Well,
Why?
by the way, you bring us to our next point, Eric. I'm glad you brought it up, and Kim, you pointed it out. This is the epitome of the swamp. This is why people hate Washington, D.C. This is why Donald Trump was elected president in 2016. But a recent poll finds that the majority of people out there want Nancy Pelosi gone. AOC is saying she wants Nancy Pelosi gone. I think it's time that we get some of these folks that have been lifers, quite frankly, in Congress and Senate. They've made their livelihoods off the backs of the American people. It's time, Gina, to get them out because I think that what we saw with this past election, which, by the way, is still ongoing. I want to go ahead and point out again to everyone at home, this election is far from over. We all believe that Donald Trump won this election. We are going to prove that. But when you look at the down ballot races, people rejected the standard Washington, D.C. They rejected the swamp. They rejected socialism in a very big way. And I don't know, are they going to reject Nancy Pelosi in San Francisco? What do you think?
Well, I think that would be the second best Christmas present that that our politicians could give the American people. First, of course, would be that they actually revisit this election and have it come out free and fair, and so that each person's vote did count. But yes, Nancy Pelosi is everything wrong with Washington, D.C. Every American looking in knows this. That's why the polling against her, even notwithstanding the idea whether or not she should continue as Speaker, is extremely negative. She is not respected. She's not trusted by the American people. The politicians need to do themselves a favor and earn the American people's trust back by getting people like her out.
Yeah, it's absolutely
Well,
true.
maybe we should put some money in there to study to really study the cannibalism of the left and the Democrats, because they're eating each other up right now. AOC against Nancy Pelosi. Believe me, and I lived in San Francisco with her. At one time I was related to her through Maradona. Don't hold it against me. That's expired. But yeah. But I mean, it's nothing but nonsense. Yes, I was emancipated from this nonsense. Thanks be to God. But that's the problem, So crazy Aunt Nancy, she needs to retire. Even the left doesn't like her. They've had enough. But they are the epitome of the swamp. Like, she's the one that would be on the currency of the swamp, is Nancy Pelosi.
Well, it's actually why we need Laura Trump to run for Senate.
Oh,
yes.
But you know what's actually scary to me, guys? If you look at Nancy, for as awful as her kind of governance has been, one of the reasons she's being rejected by the left is she's not progressive enough for them. I mean, that scares me.
Isn't it?
To me, she's the scariest person in Washington, D.C., but there are scarier people who are out there trying to dethrone her because she's not scary enough for them. And that is
frightening.
That is a frightening combination.
But it says so much about what the Democrat Party really is, which are clarified, reproven socialists on every level. They used to deny it. If you were conservative and you ever called Democrats socialists, even just before President Trump was in office, people acted like you were crazy. But now everybody knows they are socialists. And when Nancy Pelosi isn't liberal enough for them,
oh my gosh,
that should tell you everything you know about what party you want to be supporting.
That's the direction, right?
Yep.
That they want to go in.
It's really scary, and we're going to talk about the radical socialists in our next segment. So I want everyone